After that, we move to the Krusty Krab restaurant where Plankton arrives and starts mocking Mr. Krabs because the restaurant has gone bankrupt. He demands that Mr. Krabs hand over the secret Krabby Patty formula. Surprisingly, Mr. Krabs opens the safe hidden in his belt and gives Plankton the secret recipe, but tells him that the formula is useless without SpongeBob. He looks very sad, leaves the room, and heads into his office. Plankton gets frustrated and walks away, upset. Meanwhile, SpongeBob and Patrick arrive at the lost empire of Atlantis. Before they begin their mission, the wise sage warns them that everything in the empire is designed to distract them from their true goal. SpongeBob reassures the sage and thanks him. Then he and Patrick jump out of the boat and enter the empire. Once inside, they are amazed by everything they see and start trying out everything around them. They head to the amusement park, play games, surf the waves, celebrate, and dance. After a while, the sage reappears and reminds them of his warning. He scolds them for getting distracted and tells them they came here to rescue Gary. Then he leaves. At that moment, SpongeBob and Patrick find themselves in front of King Poseidon's palace. They enter and begin searching for Gary. By chance, they walk into the royal theater and discover that King Poseidon is there. They are asked to perform for him, so they start singing. The moment Gary sees SpongeBob, he jumps from place to place until he reaches them. SpongeBob asks the king to return his pet snail, Gary, but King Poseidon refuses. SpongeBob tries to take Gary by force, but he fails. The king then orders his guards to arrest them and throw them in jail. We then shift to Sandy, who's flying in a jet boat until she arrives at SpongeBob's house. Upon entering, she's surprised to find him missing and realizes something is wrong. She goes to the Krusty Krab and asks Squidward about SpongeBob's whereabouts. She notices that Mr. Krabs is very sad because he doesn't know where SpongeBob is, and Squidward clearly misses him too. Suddenly, a breaking news report appears on TV announcing that the sponge and the starfish have been arrested for trying to steal the king's snail and will be executed during a ceremony at the royal palace. Sandy and Mr. Krabs immediately decide to go save them. Plankton tells them he'll join, and Squidward comes along as well, but only to see the famous musician performing at the event. The four of them hop on the flying boat and speed off at full throttle. Back in prison, SpongeBob and Patrick are locked up together in the same cell. SpongeBob is deeply saddened that he failed to save Gary. Patrick tries to comfort and encourage him. Suddenly, SpongeBob remembers the courage coin and asks Patrick for it, only to discover it's not with him. SpongeBob realizes Patrick must have used it while playing in the amusement park and begins blaming him for everything that happened. Patrick gets upset and they start arguing, blaming each other. Patrick then locks himself in another cell. At that moment, the wise sage reappears and tells them that the coin was just a symbol and that real courage lies within them. He gives them hope and disappears. Suddenly, the king's advisor enters with guards and tells SpongeBob and Patrick to prepare for execution. We return to Sandy and the group, where Plankton confesses that he was the one who kidnapped Gary and caused all this trouble, but now he regrets everything. Soon, they all arrive at the lost empire of Atlantis and speed toward the palace at full speed. Inside the palace, the ceremony begins. King Poseidon and all the guests are excited. The royal advisor steps out from behind the curtain with SpongeBob and Patrick. Meanwhile, Sandy and her team sneak into the crowd unnoticed. Squidward is overjoyed when he sees the famous musician, while SpongeBob apologizes to Patrick for dragging him into all this trouble. The trial begins, and the advisor questions how they dared to try and steal the king's snail. Suddenly, the lights go out, and the advisor and his guards are tied up and taken away. Sandy appears in their place and declares that they must defend SpongeBob. She explains that doing so would make the performance even better. King Poseidon agrees. Sandy then begins telling everyone about her memories with SpongeBob. She recalls how they met at summer camp when they were young. She told him she was from the surface and had invented her helmet so she could live underwater. SpongeBob was amazed and told her she would be a great inventor someday. He encouraged her, and from that moment, they became close friends. She explains that SpongeBob is not a criminal, but rather the best person in Bikini Bottom. Her story touches everyone present. Patrick then steps in and says that while SpongeBob may have broken the law, it was only because he refused to give up on his friend.